Okay, so this month's guest is someone I've been rocking with heavy for well over a year now, and she's taught me so much just by being who she is. She is the fairy godmother of baby dust. She is the beauty, brains, and magic behind Cookie Conjure and Biz. This is my boo. This is Kiki. Kiki, thank you for being on the show, being our special guest this month. I am honored.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's an honor for me as well.
Look, don't have me start fangirling. Y'all know how I am. Um, but I want you to tell everybody about yourself before I go standing, and then tell everybody what you specialize in, and even how you got along this particular path.
All right. Let me just keep it a bit simple. Everybody calls me Kiki. I am a mom of four children that I've birthed and one on the way. I'm in a beautiful, happy, highs and lows, growing and evolving relationship with my honey. And I am the founder and creator of Cookie Conjure and Biz, which was rebranded from Keys of Allure LLC for those who have followed me and my page. And I rebranded simply because it was just time to expand, time to grow, time to evolve, time to change. And it changed from Keys of Allure, from just being specific to just the sensuality and beauty behind the energy of femininity in women, but branching more into conjure and manifestation, as well as still being attuned to sensuality, beauty, sexuality, and so forth. um I do speak a lot heavily to women, yes, as far as empowerment, because I'm really big on balance, and I don't just speak to the women just from a standpoint of catering to the emotions and the whims of a woman's mind, heart, and soul, but more so about shedding accountability and getting them to see themselves so they can be the best versions of themselves for themselves and for others, relationship wise, as parents, as friends, family members, and even within their own businesses.
Do y'all see why I love her? Do you hear that? I love it. I absolutely love it. Now this whole episode is about womb yoni healing, the sacral chakra. And again, we are very much being inclusionary. We're not trying to remove anyone without a womb from the conversation.
Right.
But when we talk about feminine power, how do you really tap into that and offer those with wombs a safe space to do that?
To be honest, I'm just going to say it just like this. It's really just about creating that space of safety and peace. And it doesn't matter if it's a male or a female, or those that are in transitions. It's really more about understanding where the importance of balance and achieving true and fullness in your power, as well as just being free and so much more. Like, all of us have divine feminine energies within ourselves, just like all of us have divine masculine energy. So it's really about the balance that I try to teach and create and implement.
Okay. And when you say implement, what are some of the ways that, like if I were coming to you as a client, and where would we start on that particular journey?
So we would typically do like a little mini consult, me asking you what is it that you're really looking for, because at the end of the day, we do know deep down inside what it is where we want, or what it is we want to achieve. We're just afraid to like really specifically say, because either we think we're not worthy enough to achieve that, we think we're incapable of achieving that, um or we just don't think that it's even possible. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's none of that is ever true. So I want folks to be honest with themselves and with me when they meet with me, to even start doing healing, womb healing work and whatnot. That it's okay to just pretty much state what the fuck you want,
I
and
heard
that's just
that.
period. You know, I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to tell you, oh, no, you shouldn't want that. No, if that's what you want, then that's your damn business. I respect it. So let's get to it. And then we take the necessary steps. I read their energy, to go deeper into what assignments can be catered to them, what energy works specifically, where do I need to go into, what needs to be removed, what needs to be healed, and then I address them on the different things based on my findings, and then we go from there as well.
Okay. And that makes sense. When we talk about um womb healing, could you talk to us just about like how that kind of ties in with the sacral chakra? I talked about it briefly before bringing you on, but I definitely want to hear, just how it ties in, because I know the sacral chakra, we talk about relationships, and a lot of our sexual trauma is hidden there, and a lot of there's a lot of deep emotions involved when you talk about the sacral chakra. So how does that tie in with what you do?
So let's just break it down a little deeply, because this is just how my mind functions with it, as well as the downloads that I've received centering
Mm-hmm.
around that. You have to think of it like the womb is the body itself, and the sacral chakra is the energetic signature of the womb body. So they're two separate portions of the same thing.
Okay.
So we can't just do just sacral work and not do womb work. You can't just do womb work and not do sacral work. Both tie in together. It's almost like looking at as we would consider it biblically, the Holy Trinity. Like they're one and the same, yet, three different parts.
Right.
So it's the same thing for your womb. That's just like your heart chakra. That's the energy of your heart, but you actually have the actual physical, part of your heart. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when we are doing sacral chakra work, you're doing the energetic portion of the actual body itself, and going deeper into the memories that are embedded in the energetic field. But then you also have to go into the body itself and find where those connections energetically are, and begin to unplug, because I do not believe in cutting cords anymore. When I started on a journey, yes, that's basic knowledge that you start to learn when it comes to connections and bonds. But as I grew and learned and was up under my mentors, well, still up under a few of my mentors, I learned one thing, which was, it was very profound for me. I no longer cut. I disconnect. Then I also dissolve and destroy. So that way those connections can never be able to be made again.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you cut, you can always mend that what you've broken. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
So I don't cut anymore, but it's very important to not just do the energetic work, but to also put in the physical healing portions, which centers around the womb body itself as well. So um yeah, that's just really strongly what I believe, and it's very important to see the two as well as see them as a whole.
I think that's amazing. And I've never heard it broken down like that. So that's something for me to journal about and kind of dig deeper in regards to my own womb healing. So thank you very much for dropping these major keys, Miss Kiki. Um talk I like to know, because I'm a nerd and I like to know how people tick, like what makes us passionate about the things that we're passionate about.
Mhm.
And the fire you bring when it comes to empowering women through the sacral, through our womb space. Excuse me, those who have wombs, not just women. I'm sorry. Um, but just how passionate you are about that. I'd like to know where that passion came from with you, wanting to promote, all of this with divine feminine energy and just all of that that it encompasses.
So it's a lot of different components as to why I'm very passionate about it. One, I have a lot of Scorpio traits in my chart. Just put that.
Girl, listen,
Oh,
that Scorpio stellium be coming through.
yeah. And then on top of that, my black moon is also in Lilith. Then on top of that, I am a daughter of Lilith. Then on top of that, I did experience growing up sexual trauma. Then on top of that, just the different things that I experienced in life caused me to be more in my divine masculine energy than my divine feminine energy, and it caused me to look at females, because I have to put it like this. That was my experience, so this is not any disrespect to anyone that are transitioning or anything like that. But for me being heavily in my divine masculine energy under the false pretenses that I was still being feminine, I had issues with females, making female friends and maintaining those relationships, being completely safe and comfortable and at peace in my own true divine feminine energy, all of it. Like, I used to look at females like they were crazy when they would get super duper emotional and things like it was bad. And I used to be very proud walking around like, oh, I think like a whole nigga, I think like a whole nigga, and it was very, very much true. I even treated people from a space of my divine masculine energy. Not that it was super divine back then, because I definitely wasn't on a spiritual journey, but as I shifted and I transitioned and I grew deeper into my own spiritual path and my own healing, my own walk, I had to balance became a thing for me. That is like my hugest theme. And so at one point in time, I finally decided, you know what, I'm imbalanced and I need to be balanced in my own internal energies. I need help with my divine feminine side. And so, not for nothing, as I was driving home from work back when I was living in Charlotte, North Carolina, the name Yemiya came into my mind. And it was weird because I wasn't really like working with deities or anything like that back then. Not to my knowing or my understanding. So I went and I looked up goddesses with the name Yemiya, and Yemiya for the Orishas came up, and so I was like, okay, that's weird. Like, who is this? Who is this woman trying to like come up for me energetically? I'm like, I ain't never worked with none of y'all before. This is weird for me. So then I ain't gonna lie, this is exactly how I said it. Okay, well, what you want? Why are you coming up for me? Like, when I tell y'all, I don't be giving no rat's ass, no fucks when I be approaching some of these things. She's like, oh, but I was,
Listen,
what do you want? And she was pretty much like, I came to help you heal your wound so that way you can be more in tune with your divine feminine energy. And I was like, oh, I was like, okay, well, I did ask for this, so you lead and guide me on how to do this, and we'll go. And she said the first thing you're going to do is you're going to start working with water. And I looked up and researched the purposes behind water, and believe it or not, water helps with the sacral chakra. It helps with the womb. When you think about the womb space for especially, yes, women, when we have our cycles, literally speaking, even though, yes, it is blood that is in there, that is still liquid. Okay. And so that liquid we know holds memory way more than anything else. So I began to work with my healing for my womb, my sacral chakra, as well as for my soul and my feminine energies through water. And I let her lead and guide me by giving me the different messages and downloads that I needed in order for me to be more in tuned. So I learned how to be more deeply nurturing and compassionate with the guidance of Mama Yemiya. And ever since then, I have just been strongly passionate about womb healing, about being true to your divine feminine and divine nature, finding the balance, being free in your sensuality, your sexuality, whatever it is, a lot of things. So, yeah.
I love it. I love that. And you know how I feel about water. Like, water is just healing on so many different levels. Like, I absolutely am here for that. And it's such a beautiful story how you've gone through this and you recognize that you can't have too much of one. You always have to find that balance between both the masculine and the feminine, which we're all encompassed of both of both. Whether one is out of balance or not, that is up to the individual. But it's where you find the balance of both that you have, a more sense of peace. So going over everything that you've gone through and just kind of the experience that you provide your clients, when we are not reaching out to a professional, when it's just us, what can we do in our daily lives that helps us with womb and sacral chakra healing?
So to be honest, I'm about to be very crass with it, so y'all bear with me because it's me. But when you're not able to find a mentor or come across someone that's reasonably priced for your pockets, okay, or that's actually genuine, this is where you're going to have to get out of your comfort zones and really sit with your pussy or your dick. It's just plain and simple. Really sit with your sacral chakra, the energy, your womb space, because both men and women alike have a womb space. They operate differently, but they provide the same exact thing: creativity, life. Okay. And we have to stop being so afraid and so shamed in regards to getting in tune with our own personal nature. And that's just the long and short of that. When you are in the privacy of your own home, in the bathroom or whatever, you can lay your hand right over the womb space, right over your dick, right over your vagina. I don't care. Okay. And you talk. And when you're done talking, then you listen. And this is where a lot of people have an issue. You want to talk and you want to talk, but you never take the time to sit and be still in the moment so that you can hear the response back. And that's where a lot of us get fucked up at. And then we feel like we ain't getting no answers. Well, you listen.
And there it is. That one word means so much. Listen. And listen to understand, not listen to respond. Mm-hmm. Even when you're talking on a metaphysical sense. Mm-hmm. If you know that you hear what you hear in your head, is it talking back to you? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, mm-hmm. And you might seem like you're going crazy, but the answers that you're looking for is what you hear in your head.
Sometimes.
So you want to...
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Yes, I'm sorry. Sometimes it's not even just in your head. Sometimes you feel it in your heart, or you feel it right back in the same space that you're talking to. Or you might come across a sign, or all of a sudden your phone might randomly start playing a song, and it's the exact response you needed to hear just through song. Like, it's so many different ways you can get your reply. But at the end of the day, it requires you to stop, to be still, and to listen. That's why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Come on now. I didn't start this episode with no collection plate now. Like, you sitting up here starting this sermon.
But I mean, if they want to donate, you know what I'm saying? $ Cookie Conjure 8833, you feel me?
I'm not even mad at it. I'm not. Okay, so now we're about to get ignorant. Because let me tell y'all, and I'm going to tell this story as many times as it takes, especially as we go into this segue into what I'm about to ask you. So me and Key first met in our mentors class for Mother Marie Laveau. And I remember Mother Laveau came to me in a dream and told me something very specific for my girl. And mind you, we had never talked to each other before. I came out left field and hit her up about her womb. And little did I didn't even realize it was about that until 2 weeks later when she was like, I know you said it wasn't a baby, but, and now my niece is almost a year old.
Yeah, well,
Because of my so she blames me. She blames me for Angel, which I'll take responsibility for that. But she is now known for spreading baby dust on people, and it works. So please talk to me about the fertility work that you do, and how it ties into your personal mission.
okay, well, I'm just gonna warn you guys now. The same little baby, she just woke up, so she's here right next to me. So you might hear a little bit of cooing and cawing, so that everyone will know.
And stepped into the building.
But otherwise than that, yeah, I got pregnant with Angel, and she is so full of Venusian energy.
Mm-hmm.
And not for nothing, while I was pregnant with her, I just felt this urge to just start sprinkling baby dust. And that's what I called it at the time, baby dust. And at first, it started out as a joke. I'm not going to lie, it did. Because I just thought it was so funny that I would fuck with people's heads and be like, how I'm going to since I'm all witchy and shit. So I'm just going to sprinkle my baby dust all over you motherfuckers on my timeline. Anytime you read this shit, I don't care if you like it, love it, laugh at it. You're going to get pregnant. Ha, ha, ha.
No, she's dead ass
I'm
serious
dead ass
though,
serious.
y'all.
And the first 2 times, it was funny. And it still is even to this day. But after a while, it was just like, wait a minute. That felt good to do that. Like, legit just for me. Like, So
Mm-hmm.
I started, like, and I would get everybody on my timeline riled up. It should be hilarious. And then I was just like, you know what? Y'all laughing, but I'm being very serious. And watch, some of y'all gonna come up pregnant while you playing with me. And sure enough,
Yeah. So
I
did.
started getting lit up like, Kiki, you got me motherfucking pregnant. It's your fault. You gonna take care of this baby. Whoa, hold on. I put a disclaimer out there that I wasn't gonna be taking care of these babies. I'm like a fucked up baby daddy out here, okay? I get you pregnant, but
She out here sprinkling baby dust like Future.
Yo, and I tell y'all, it is absolutely hilarious. I did have to change the name behind my what I call it. So I call it fertility magic now, and I actually changed in the fertility, from it being TY to TEA. And I had to do that because yes, because no, I did not have the name Baby Dust, copywritten or whatever yet. The name did get jacked. And some people did start, using it for like their readings and stuff like that. So I now call it Fertility Magic. And I actually speak about the ability, and the strength and the power behind fertility magic, because even though I sprinkle it, it may not land necessarily in your womb to actually create a baby, bringing actual physical life into this world. Fertility magic is literally about new beginnings, creating life, okay? And you can do that with anything. You can create a new life using fertility magic when you want to find a new home. You want to start a new business. You want to rebrand your business. You know what I'm saying? You want to come up with new, brand spanking new ideas that will catapult you into the next age. Like, fertility magic is absolutely phenomenal for that. New beginnings, new ideas, creativity.
I love it. I absolutely love it. She ain't get me though. I just want to let y'all
Oh,
know,
no,
I've been
I ain't
ducking and
on the baby
dodging.
side yet, homie, but please believe.
Now she done got me when it comes to businesses because I got so much shit coming out. Y'all not even ready.
Absolutely.
But me and this IUD best friends is all I'm saying. Like she ain't got me. She ain't got me.
Did you see that TikTok that I posted though?
See, I'm gonna have to. Okay, let us know your TikTok because I was just about to
Oh,
ask
hell no.
how anybody can.
No, my TikTok is personal. I'm talking about the one that I share from someone else's page where the
Oh,
guy
I'm gonna
had
have.
talking about he vegan and he knocked the IUD and got the girl pregnant.
See, you playing? Nah, we not even putting that into the universe. Universe, don't even be listening to her like that. Ain't nobody. Nope, nope. Anyway,
Yeah.
let everybody know where they can find you, Heifer.
It was funny though.
I'm gonna check it out. But let us know how we can contact you across social media, your websites, all that good stuff. If anybody wants to actually, really dive in and take that step and claim your new beginnings with your fertility magic and getting any womb and sacral chakra healing, let us know how we can find you.
Absolutely. So you guys can absolutely find me on Facebook. It is Cookie Conjure in Biz on Facebook, my business page, as well as on Instagram, Cookie Conjure Biz. And my website is www.cookieconjurebiz.com. And I provide womb healing as well as a fertility package for those who want to get their womb healed. My feminines, my masculines, those that are in transitions, no one is exempt. You can get the healing or you can get the help if you're trying to manifest creations, whether it's through business, whether it's through new life, new beginnings, or an actual baby. I provide that help through that by opening up your womb, opening up and helping you to heal your sacral chakra, getting you more in tune with both, being in alignment with it all, and catapulting you through it all. I definitely provide that. If you're also interested in just having business ideas, I'm actually going to put that up on my website. I haven't yet. My mentor actually kind of pushed me into that more because we just had a whole dope conversation when I talked with her, and she was like, you should definitely do that. Just sit and have business idea conversations all day long. I have ideas for those who are trying to open up businesses. They don't know the ideas that they could have. I got you. Holla at me. I'm here to help
See,
you
we
conjure the
be
sweetness of your life. And that's just really what Cookie Conjuring Biz is really about. We're conjuring the sweetness and the manifestation of your best life, in the most utmost dope way. So you guys definitely come and see me on my website, my Facebook page, my Instagram page. And if you want to follow me on my regular Facebook page, it is Lavish So Key. And I'm there with all of my silliness, my funness, my mentoringness, and all of that. You get it all.
y'all. Key is a treasure,
Aww.
and I absolutely love her. This ride that we've been on, especially with our mentor, because Miss Satin don't play.
Mm-hmm.
But I am so honored to see the growth in her, and she recognizes the growth in me. And it's never I have to say I'm completely blessed to have the most phenomenal women around me when it comes to my spiritual path, my business, everything. And I'm so glad that Key is a part of that, because not only are we kind of walking together, it's still cool to see her in places that is farther than me. So I have inspiration to keep going. And you guys should definitely follow her. Definitely check out all of the things that she has going on, because they are phenomenal. They are helping the collective push the needle forward. And it's just really dope shit at the end of the day. That's going to wrap it up for this week's episode. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you check out everything that Key has going on again. And definitely hit me up across all social media at Coco Kitten Bruja. Again, there's a ton of stuff that I have going on. There's actually going to be a bonus episode this week since I didn't have an episode last week. And I'm actually going to talk about some of the things that I have going on. So be on the lookout for that later this week. And until then, I am sending you guys tons and tons and tons of love and light. A peace.
Bye.
So if you're like me and you're just starting out on your podcast, or you're looking for a different platform for your podcast, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. And just let me go over a couple of points for you. It's free. That's the main thing. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, because I keep my phone on me everywhere, so it's super convenient for me. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, like pretty much everywhere. And you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything that you need to make your podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Peace, love, and light, fam. You are now tuned into Spiritual Shenanigans with Coco Kitten Bruja. And I am going to give a disclaimer on today's episode. Not about me cursing, because we're on season 3 now. So if you didn't know I curse, then that's on you. You gonna find out. Anyway, I want to give a disclaimer because this episode is about divine femininity. So why am I having a disclaimer? Well, energy is genderless, and divine feminine, divine masculine, all of it resides within all of us, right? Now, while they both carry distinctive traits, when it comes to creative energy, emotional energy, nurturing, fertile, all of that is deemed as being part of the divine feminine. And then, of course, our logical, assertive, our leadership qualities, those are typically on the masculine side. With that being said, I want you guys to understand that all of that resides in all of us. So when you start hearing people talk about divine feminine, divine masculine, that's not to exclude anybody or any gender, because we all have both. That's the essence of duality, the yin and the yang, right? Now, as my guest, because this is the guest week, as we speak to womb healing, the sacral chakra, and the like, I don't want anybody to feel like they're being left out. But this topic that we're discussing is very important, and it's relative to those who resonate with the energy, right? Divine feminine energy, fertility, womb, yoni work is very, very important. And I wanted to make sure that we talked about it. But you guys know that my show is inclusive, and sometimes my topic is very specific. So my disclaimer is this: if it don't apply, let it fly at the end of the day. So this particular episode is going to focus heavily on those with wombs. However, there is technically, when you think about metaphysical, the spiritual, there's a womb within all of us, right? There is a space where we create life. There is a space where that life may be a business, that life may be, an ideal system. We all have wombs. But we are going to be talking about the spiritual and the physical womb. And I don't want anybody to feel left out, because, womb healing, sacral chakra, it's all hand in hand. And that is where a lot of feminine energy is housed. So I just want to give that disclaimer for you guys. I know personally, when it comes to the sacral chakra, we talk a lot about where, that's our relationships, and that's where any sexual trauma is housed. And it's very, very, very important that these things get worked through, because that spills into our everyday life, right? It spills into how we interact with everyone, not just people on a romantic or sexual nature. It involves how we react to everyone. So it's definitely important to heal this part of ourselves. And our particular guest, she is phenomenal at working with people to heal that area of their body, heal that area of their mind, when it comes to, the spiritual path that they're on. And I absolutely just love her. So I want to keep things short in the beginning of this because I don't want to talk too much. I want to make sure that she has the floor. And I'm just really, really excited for the conversation to be had, because those with wombs will know that this type of discussion doesn't happen often enough. So often we navigate life being too embarrassed or being too afraid to talk about our wombs, to talk about what goes on within us when it comes to this area. And I definitely feel like this is a great starting point to get those conversations going and really shift the narrative about being open to talking about sex, your sexuality, the healing that's required if trauma has been there, just all different things that tie into that aspect. I feel like it's definitely needed in this day and age. And I am so glad, so honored to have this person on the podcast. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break. We got to throw this ad in here to pay some bills. And when I come back, we are going to open up the episode to our guest of the month. So with that being said, I'll be right back.